In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus predicts or alludes to his suffering and death at least 5 times. But though he said his death was coming and that it was necessary, his disciples were still completely lost when it happened. Why? Picture yourself there. You followed Jesus for 3 years. You've watched him teach, you've watched him heal, you've felt his hand on your shoulder, you've felt his love in your soul. You've grown very close to the man. And then you have the Passover supper with him, a special time. And during that supper, he takes off his outer garment, he washes your feet, he serves you and the fellow disciples. It's all very strange, it's all very emotional, you're not quite sure what's happening. And then there's one more prediction of what's about to happen. He breaks bread and he's pouring out wine and he's saying, "This is my body and this is my blood." And yet again, he's telling you he's about to die. Later that night, Jesus is arrested, accused, beaten. He's taken and you and the disciples follow. And then by mid-morning, he's hanging on a cross. Some of your friends have fled. There's just a few supporters left and you're watching him hang on a tree. By noon, the sun goes dark and it's cold in your soul. And you see Jesus suffering and you see him dying. And maybe now you start to remember that he's predicted his death many times. But could you in that moment remember why? This is the same Jesus who spoke a word and calmed a storm. This is the same Jesus who raised Lazarus from the dead. And yet he allowed himself to be captured. He allowed himself to be nailed to a cross. He's allowing himself to be killed right in front of your eyes. With the sun dark at midday and the earth quaking and the curtain in the temple tearing in two, would you have understood why Jesus had to die? It's likely not. It's likely that all you would have felt in that moment was despair, and you would have seen the king you had hoped for and the kingdom you had hoped for dying in front of you. This scripture is short and abrupt, and if the story ends here, there is no hope. If his death is the end, then Jesus is just another man. But see how he died, with signs, with submission to the Father, with wonders. Listen to what he said, the way that he spoke to his Father on the cross. Remember that his upside-down kingdom does not work like other kingdoms. And remember what he said about the third day.